What were like the things that you had to do?
Get completely naked.
It's not something that I would recommend.
Don't work a 9-to-5 job.
Great idea.
Exactly. I'm Christina, and I ended up on Onlyfans about 8 weeks ago, and not like pre-planned. So I am from Scotland and I live in Australia. I worked as a dancer for about, I don't know, maybe like about a year. Absolutely loved the job. I thought it was great money in it, like fantastic. Had a partner, and then there was a couple of things that weren't quite meshing. COVID hit, and I fell into like going back onto my degree, which is politics, and ended up working a government job for like, I don't know, like best part of 2 years, if not more. And yeah, just really was not enjoying it whatsoever. It's like draining my soul, shall we say. So, but my partner also didn't want me to go back into dancing because there was a couple of things, and I totally get his point of view, that like, you know, like getting spiked in the club wasn't great. Which, you know, the money was great, but like he didn't, you know, I totally get it. So he suggested OnlyFans. I think it was on Valentine's Day. He was like, oh, like the pictures you sent me are so nice, oh my God. And I was like, I never want to put myself out there online. Like absolutely never. Like I was like, Australia, parents can't see, nobody can see me. I didn't even go on any promo as like being a dancer. Don't want to be on anything. Like didn't sign those things. But then I was like, I gotta get out of this job. It is literally killing my soul. And then I looked at like the mirror the other day, and then I seen I have a smash pocket watch tattoo that says like, don't work a 9-to-5 job. And it was like, I remember getting it at like 19 and just being like, don't do it. If you ever see this tattoo and you've forgotten, don't do it. So yeah, basically I was like, you know what, this is my ticket out of here, and this is like my ticket to just like freedom. And I just don't think I can go and work in a government anymore. So I was like, gonna follow your course, and then I'm just gonna it's gonna do it. Because I think there is 100%, there's money to be made there. You can definitely earn the same amount of income. So I was like, you know what, like I'm just gonna like follow the course and just go for it, because I've got like the green go ahead, and you know what, I don't really mind what my family thinks at this point. It's like I'm not sitting there in an office anymore. I'll do it.
So you were basically a dancer, and so from there, so you were a dancer, you moved into a government job. What were like the things that you had to do in that government job that kind of made it so miserable?
I wouldn't say that it was like particularly miserable. Like it was more just the going into the government job. So like you go in, it's like an old school like classroom, shall I say? Like it's basically, you think like, oh, you know, government, they were going to put a bit of money into themselves. It's not. It's like an old building. You like walk in, and you're like literally like walking in, and it's like people are silent, like deadly staring at you. Like the atmosphere is like tense. Everybody's tense. I would just say like everyone's like tense, and they're like on edge, like pretty much all the time. I would say like from like there was 100%, there's like bullying in there. There's like, you know, if you're like shy a little bit, like, you know, you will get like, people will like go down on you. I didn't have that experience in like the second government job, which had a really nice office. But in the first one, yeah, it was like super intimidating. And I just think like people go in terms of like VPS. So like, say you come in as a VPS 3, right? And then there's like VPS 7. You're not allowed to talk to somebody that's in a VPS like 7 job. So you have to go through their like assistant, which is like totally fair enough. But I used to work in the deputy secretary's office. So like if I was by myself with the deputy secretary, she would be like, no, just call him right now. You call him right now. She'd be on the phone to like the minister or like the secretary and be like, no, call him right now. So it was all right working there for some degree, but there's just, I think it's like a really toxic culture of like hierarchy. Like you hear about hierarchy and then you don't really see it. And then I've seen it and it is just like toxic. And I just didn't really like it for that reason. And basically no new ideas are good ideas. It's everything takes, I don't know, like 20 times, like more time to like get through to anybody. And then people don't want to change and adapt new systems. So I didn't like that kind of atmosphere, shall we say, like
Right.
quite some time.
So tell us about young Christina, because you're in Australia now, but you weren't there always. So what was kind of like, how did you kind of grow up and how did you end up where you are?
Oh, so I grew up in Scotland, Glasgow, and I was from like my parents were basically I'd say it's like kind of frowned upon to be posh in Glasgow, which is like sounds really silly, but it's kind of frowned upon because you're not like one of the people, if that makes any sense. Just for your hair color, just for like the way your skirt is, it was mad. But like, I think that just like toughens your skin quite a lot. So like, even like going online, it's like, it's not even like, it's like comparable by a bit like that measure. And but I love Glasgow. It is amazing. Like, yeah, you see like absolutely every end of the spectrum. Like growing up there, it was good. Like, like, yeah, my parents may not have like agreed with everything I said, but like I pretty much got the green pass when I was 15 and I got myself a job. So like they're actually really like super nice to me. Like let my friends like stay at my house. Before that, I was like strict till 14 as 9 p.m. had to be home, like everything like that had to be home, like could stay out drinking, like had to be home, get in trouble, like drunk, get grounded. But yeah, there's definitely a big drinking culture in Glasgow and a big madness culture in Glasgow.
Nice. So you and I we've talked a handful of times, and you're when it comes to OnlyFans, you're pretty new as far as creators are concerned, in terms of the whole OnlyFans world. And most of the girls that I have on the pod, I mean, they've been doing it for some time, usually at least a year, sometimes a few years and stuff like that. But you're basically, starting out brand new. You bought the course, you joined the group, and you're not quite in the top 1% yet, but you're making really good progress right now. And so, first of all, what is your percentage right now on OnlyFans, and how much money have you made on OnlyFans?
Yeah, sure. So I am on the top 7% right now. I should have actually written down my statistics, but woke up late. So I'm top 7%. So I don't know. I think like net, that means like I've made about a grand and 1,000, like I'm pretty sure yesterday it was 1,300 and something. And then gross, it's like 1,006 something ish. And I can check right now for you if you like. I'm more than happy to check.
I mean, for somebody who just came into the process, I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty impressive. I'm curious to hear your perspective because, you're someone who's started very recently, but tell us, what are kind of the biggest challenges that you've had so far?
I would say the biggest challenges that I've had so far is I was all right at doing like the first method of the course with the TikToks, but like I realized that my TikToks don't go anywhere, and that's because of me. It's because of my VPN. So I just want to cut out my VPN. Like I don't like I've seen those TikToks like that I do try hard in. Like they can go viral on Clapper, they can go viral on Instagram. So I just realized like that maybe TikTok and just toning it down a little bit, that has maybe been my challenge. And also like the real challenge for me is I'm in Australian time. So I pretty much get a subscriber at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know, like always at 4 o'clock in the morning, or I get a huge, like just like around that time. So I'm never up, I'm never online at the same time that anybody is subscribing. And that's because my VPN has been set to America. So I have hit the American market 100%. I'd say I have like maybe about 3 or 4 subs that are like maybe 5 from like different countries, but it's either America or Canada. So I have managed to hit that, and I don't think anybody's seen me from TikTok. I think everybody's seen me from Instagram, or Facebook.
With your Instagram, do you have a VPN on that? Is that showing in Australia or the US?
It's shot in the US, and like it shows my account. So I think it shows at present it was like 20% like the US, and then it was like 19% India, and then it was like the rest were like others. So it does work like to the extent, but now that my partner is comfortable, I wouldn't mind even targeting like, without the VPN, just the Australian market, and like putting things out at like normal times when it's gonna hit.
It's very rare for me to find cases. It's very, very popular in the OnlyFans world for everybody to, use Sims and VPNs, try to hit the US and stuff like that. But for, I work with a lot of different creators, managers, all these different people, and it's seems to be very difficult for the ones that are using, Sims, VPNs, all this stuff. It seems to be very difficult for them to, to have their videos get massive distribution. It's not necessarily an easy thing to do either way, but for the ones that are using, VPNs and Sims, it seems to be much more difficult. Now, I don't know if you saw earlier today, I sent out a broadcast to everyone who follows me on Telegram to see what kind of questions people might have. So you're relatively new, but you've still got a pretty solid foundation of experience, I'd say. And so I'm curious to hear your thoughts on some of these questions. So I got a few questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
The first one is from username Catalina, and she's basically asking, is it possible to be successful as a faceless creator? What would you say?
Oh, I think like well possible. Like you have like there's another faceless I think she's called like Bad Barbie or Bad Blondie. It's just a country niche, and she's like fab. Like I don't know how long it's taken her to get in there, but like say so. Like I'd say so, but like as long as you show your personality, 100%.
Yeah, there is someone that comes to mind. Her name is, she's super big in the industry. I think she actually is like one of the biggest creators on Fansly and stuff like that. And her thing is called Naked Baker, and her whole thing is like, she basically has a YouTube channel where she just like, gets on YouTube. She like just cooks food and like, hangs out, does collabs and stuff like that. And she doesn't show her face at all. So I'd say that's like one of the biggest exceptions. It's pretty rare to see faceless creators hit those numbers and hit that level, but she's someone that I would say is like an exception that has like built a huge brand being a faceless creator. So yeah, it's definitely possible to do it. It's not something that I would recommend because it increases the difficulty, 100-fold. But with that being said, it's certainly possible. People have done it, and she's a great example of that.
By the way, if you want to learn the best systems and strategies to grow your social media and really level up your skills to get more fans consistently, be sure to check the link down in the description below, or you can scan the QR code on the screen here. Remember, average skills are going to give you average results, and average is not going to pay your bills in this business. It's up to you to master these skills and learn how to properly promote your account if you want to see real long-term success in the business. And now back to the podcast.
The next one here, so this is Rebecca, and this one, I don't know if you use Reddit at all, but she says, do you think Reddit is worth it?
I'm going to say that I am changing my strategy slightly, and I reckon Reddit probably is worth it. Just for like the fact that TikToks right now are not like going mad. I think there is probably a lot to do in Reddit. I personally can't speak from experience, so you're probably not talking to like the right person for Reddit. I don't use it. I use it a couple of times, maybe like have used it sparingly out of the picture. I've got a few upvotes and slowly building up my karma, but I haven't really deep dived into it. So I'm not the best person to ask on this question, I would say.
My thoughts on Reddit is it worth it? The answer is it depends, right? Because sometimes it works, for certain people, they kill it on Reddit, and for others, it doesn't really work at all. What I will say with Reddit is that you're not, with Reddit, there's a certain ceiling, there's a certain limit. There's creators that can reach 3%, 2%, even 1% on Reddit, but for the creators that are really hitting massive, massive numbers, 6 figures per month and beyond, it's not a result of Reddit. In most cases, it's a result of, which again is why I push so heavy on building a personal brand and all these different things, because once you've built your brand to a certain level, that's what really, starts hitting those big, big numbers. What I will say with Reddit is that it is one of the only platforms that you can sort of successfully outsource, because, as you know, when you post on TikTok, you can't really outsource that because you're the one that has to create the content. You have to do it in your phone. You have to upload it from your phone. And that's true for a lot of the mainstream platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all these different things. Reddit is one of the only platforms that you can pay, a VA, and they can, you just send them the content. They'll handle everything. They'll post it on Reddit. They'll put all the stuff on, on the different subreddits and stuff like that. And that can actually work decently well if you're the type of creator that, actually gets good results from Reddit. So to me, that's the biggest advantage of Reddit, is the simple fact that it's something that you can successfully outsource, unlike a lot of the other platforms. For anybody that's thinking about Reddit, that's my kind of 2 cents on whether or not, is it worth it? Sure. For some people, for others not. But anyway, that's that's kind of my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, I would agree 100%.
Yeah. So the next one here, so this is Lily, and she says, what is better, a paid account or a freed account? I'm assuming she's talking about OnlyFans.
So, for Lily, I have only done Scotty setup. So I have both. And I also seen another creator, I think her name's Kayla, and she also specified. So you only want to go with people to your VIP page.
For the average creator, I would say that a free page is going to end up costing you and wasting you much more time than it's going to, prove to have benefit. So, for the people that kind of follow my program and the strategies that I show and stuff like that, kind of the primary purpose of a paid page is to sort of use it as a gatekeeping system. So for you, coming from the dancing world, if the club basically let everybody in for free, what's going to happen? It's going to fill up with a bunch of freeloaders. They're going to waste all the girls' time. So you have a cover charge, and that way you ensure that the club is getting, filled up with people that are willing to spend money in some capacity.
And you never put it and kind of more articulate and to it that is exactly that is to the point. Why would you let people in for free? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the thing is, you're going to make most of your money in the DMs when you're chatting with people on OnlyFans, and you don't want to be spending, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hours chatting with people that have almost no chance of spending any money. So the point of having a paid page is to make sure that the people that are coming in, when you later engage that person in the DMs and you start those conversations in the DMs, that person's going to have a much higher probability of actually being interested in purchasing your content and things like that. So for anybody who's kind of wondering, should I do a free page or a free page? Again, depends on the strategy that you're going to be focusing on, but hopefully that makes sense in terms of, if you're trying to make money, you want to obviously increase your probability of getting spenders into your account. That would be my suggestion. Again, that's not necessarily true for everyone. Some people prefer just going the free page route and just filling up the page and, just sending out content in the mass DMs and stuff like that, which can work to a degree as well. So one of the main reasons I wanted to talk to you is because you're making a decent little chunk of money by going live on Playboy. And so tell us a little bit about that. Like, take us through your schedule with how you do Playboy, how you go live and stuff like that.
Basically, I realized if you go live, like, you're going to get like a different audience that you might not have gotten from like, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. It is actually really good. And I've came up with a strategy that's right now is working for me pretty well, which I would love to try and implement to like Slushy at some point, because I hear like, good things, but I also think it's just been mainly creators watching at this point. So what I do is I go live, and it's the exact same thing as you do in a strip club. So if you're in a strip club, you can go at one of two methods, and both work, but like one's gonna take your time and the other one's gonna make you more money. So you can basically go into the strip club and you can do a dance. I think it's $20 for 3 minutes in Australia. So you can take off your clothes, but that also includes a lot of interaction time. That's like, there's time built before that, there's time built after that. If you want them to extend, if you want it to go for 10 minutes, that's $50. But if you take somebody to the VIP room, now, it's kind of like the exact same thing, but it's a little bit more quieter, it's a little more private. These are non-touching clubs, but you do get completely naked. I think it's $400 they have to pay, and they be like the door person, and then you get $350. So you don't go in with like, I'm gonna do like I don't know, to make your 1K. Like, you go, I want to get a VIP, I want to get private, and you want to extend your private. So like, that's what I go in like. I just go in with like one thing, and they are just like, I can sit there like for, maybe basically I wear lingerie, I sit there, I don't mind taking off my top for, like $20, like, or $10, like, I don't mind doing that. But what I will say to the person that like pays that money, well, you have an option now. You have an option. We can do this, which is like, take me into a private room, just me and you. We can do like more naughty stuff, and you can get me for half an hour. So, or you can get me for like longer. And we can choose what you want to do. So we upsell. If they've said yes, you want them to say yes like 3 times. If they said yes in the chat 3 times, and they've paid, like, you're pretty much, that's you're golden. So that just means like, you've got half an hour done. Boom. Half an hour done. Like, yeah, you use the time, but then that's like an extra money. They like do something else, like, but that's extra money. So, and then they was gonna subscribe to your page, that's extra money. So you want to be like really strategic about it. It's the exact same ways it works in like the VIP page. But you want to have a good time. You want to have a good time. You want to make sure they have a good time.
That's interesting because, yeah, so are there any other OnlyFans alternatives that kind of work in that same format like Playboy? Well, first of all, just so people don't get confused, one of the things that I tell creators is that, if you have a link tree, beacons, wherever you have your OnlyFans links, from what I've seen in my testing, it's not always a good idea to promote the OnlyFans alternatives like Fansly, Slushy, Playboy, whatever, because it's a lot harder to get conversions on those sites compared to OnlyFans. But in your case, I 100% support the idea of using those sites to make money, as long as you're not using your own marketing to get people there. So in other words, if you can go live on Playboy and make money without doing any sort of marketing for Playboy, I think that's great. Now, with that being said, so Playboy has this certain format to where it's almost kind of similar to, the club and bringing people through that process. Are there other fan sites that function that same way?
Yeah, well, I think there is. Like, I mean, I'm like, as I say, I'm like super new, but I have just recently like uploaded all my stuff to my vault in Slushy. And I would really like to check that out, because I'm thinking if there's like an off point, like the way like my mind's thinking, there's an off point in like Playboy, like the earlier I get on, the better, because like, you know, I can hit the American market, but then I can leave and then I'll get like the UK market, like the English market. I was thinking I could just switch over and then just go to slushy. Like you just get like a whole brand new like heap of people that haven't seen you before. And like that's like another way of like putting yourself out there. I think if you have your Onlyfans set up that you can like make money while you sleep, that's the best way. And it's also like a good route to go through. But if you're going to go live on these sites, you can easily make money. I think it's easy. Like people, if you want to just like make $10, like take off your top, or like you can do that like a million times. You can change your outfit. There's other like ways of going live like that I haven't actually like wired through. I just found what's worked for me, but there's like a ton.
So what are all your streams of income right now? You've got OnlyFans, you've got Playboy. Are you still dancing and stuff like that? Or what other stuff do you have going on?
So it's just those two. I don't dance anymore. I haven't danced for just over maybe 3 years. Like that's because my partner is not like keen for me to do it anymore. So it's just those two right now. Randomly get someone on Clapper, which is really weird. But like people would just like tip you on like your live streams. And I don't think Clapper is anything to sleep on, because if you've already made all those TikToks, repurpose them, put them onto Clapper, and yeah, like some can go viral. And when you go live, like people can tip you and you can use your OnlyFans link there. Like I think Clapper is actually like pretty good.
Do you have any other business plans? Like what's the sort of your end goal? What's the sort of dream life that you're after?
In like terms of like 2 years, we're trying to move to a different state. So my partner is gonna be working 8 days on the mines, like he's an electrician, and he's gonna work 6 days off. So that means like house, pool, stream. So I can stream if I can stream 6 days a week on Kick, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So if that means house renovation, if that means like sitting by the pool in a bikini, I want to do that and just try and like increase revenue. Other than that, I would really like to, you know, help other people, especially like with tactics and ways and certain phrases that you can implement to make somebody go to VIP, private. Either that's like with stripper tactics or that. And my friend Simapla is down because I just spoke to her last night and she is really down to like help people as well.
So are you going to create like some kind of, you know, YouTube channel, or maybe even on your current channel? First of all, I'm a huge fan of YouTube. If I could only choose one platform to have, YouTube would be it, for sure. Just because it's just a little bit more stable, it's a little bit more predictable than many of the other platforms, it just has a lot more long-term benefits, even though it can be a much slower grind in the beginning. Most OnlyFans creators, they don't really like YouTube that much for those reasons. It can take longer, more work and so on. But you're taking YouTube a little bit more serious than many other creators. What is your thoughts on YouTube compared to, some of the other stuff like TikTok and Instagram and that stuff?
Oh my goodness, I absolutely love YouTube. Like, I am like a huge fan. I have a video that I've not edited, but for me, it's just telling stories, or it's doing like a laundry haul. So like telling stories, all you need to do is cut, edit. It's just like, it takes literally 10 minutes and like you can just sit down and chat. I think it's great.
So for now, I'll have your current YouTube channel linked below, your Instagram, stuff like that. Is there any other social media channels that people can find out more about you?
On Instagram, I don't really do much, but if you could use my referral link for Playboy, I will happily do like a half an hour call with you and just like tell you everything that I know and what's worked out with the platform and the things that I say and what I do. I think my email should be like, hopefully you're like below.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm happy to arrange anything.
I'm going to have, so for those of you that are interested in learning how to do what Christina's doing on Playboy, for those of you that are, you don't mind going live, you're interested in doing stuff like that, I'm going to have her Instagram linked below in this video. Just click that Instagram, send her a DM if you're interested in, what she's doing on Playboy. So now the last kind of question I like to finish off with everybody is, if you could give advice to your younger self, to the younger version of yourself, what would that advice be?
Yeah, just go for it. Just start and don't care what anybody else thinks, and just go for it. 100%. Just go for it. Like, you can do it. Like, you can do it.